Hello?
Almost.
Hello, welcome back. The camera's broke, but apart from that, we gooch. Rebooting stream is hard. Sorry about the temporary disappearance. Oh, God. They didn't level down a level during the break. I don't know why the GIF has reverted to an older version. I give up. Welcome back. I don't know what campaign we're in, but it's going swimmingly. As I was saying, you can circumnavigate the town between Mesa and Turlake if you wish, and go directly on to Turlake so that you can investigate what the fuck is going on with Regal.
What the fuck is going on with the Regal?
Well, is that what we want to do? Circumnavigate and find out?
Yeah.
Then that is what we will do.
That's number one on my mind.
As you travel on to Turlake, writing it down, this is a journey of 120 miles.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's going to take you quite a while. 3 days, I think, with your magical steeds. Die, bitch. Kill a moth, sorry.
As we travel, the times that we stop to rest and camp up and stuff, I'll continue teaching Winona how to speak Draconic.
I'm literally about to ask you to make 3 checks. Yes. I'm going to take a check from both of you. Luca, give me a charisma check, and Winona, give me an intelligence check. For teaching skill and learning skill.
Oh my gosh. Feeling the pressure. You know, not the best.
I got a 16.
Okay. You can now order in a restaurant.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Ask for directions, but you can't understand anything anybody says back to you. It's one of those. Does anybody else have that when they're learning a language? You can ask for directions, but you can never understand what anybody tells you in response.
It's because the native speakers talk so fast. This is me with Spanish at my job.
Yeah. Oh, you speak Spanish
like
at
if
your
they
job?
talk, like everyone there does. And if they talk slow enough, I can get it. But yeah.
Second day, Luca, give me an intelligence check. See whether you can really ascertain Winona's learning capacity. Winona, go ahead and give me a wisdom check.
Okay.
I got a 17.
Hey. 18.
Your natural capacity for understanding is good. You can now, you've learnt all the swear words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've Vero contributed to this teaching lesson, so you've learned 1,000 different ways to flatter a dragon.
Oh my goodness.
Might come in useful. Most of them use the same 3 or 4 words, just in different orders.
Yes.
And on the 3rd day, I will take an intelligence check from Winona again, and a wisdom check from the ranger.
Ooh,
Luca.
Pretty good.
Sorry, brain just would not produce your name.
That's a 22.
Oh, you are learning swiftly. You think that perhaps you've shortened the duration of learning by a couple of days, maybe even 3.
Oh my god.
As you are now able to hold a fairly decent conversation with Vero, should Vero be kind enough to hold one with you.
Oh my gosh, I think I'm trying so hard and like annoying Vero. Like every 10 minutes I walk up and I'm like, how do you do? Very formal way of speaking.
Every 10 minutes he looks at you and replies, hungry.
No, I don't. I think Vero doesn't even really give you the time of day. Like,
I know, that's why I keep trying.
Like, he walks in front of you and like almost like not fully on purpose, but also not like, is like, as his tail moves, almost like knocks you out. You have to like quickly dodge out of the way.
I believe this.
He's definitely got the inherent trait of arrogance that dragons
I'm
deserve.
trying very hard to get into his good graces.
Oh, welcome back, Jamel. You crashed out of Roll20, so I didn't know if you actually like.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
But Luca is very much enjoying you attempting to, and throughout the process, would have told you that you're doing very well, and that you're picking it up very quickly.
Thank you. This means so much.
Wow. Yeah, you managed to progress all the way to Turlake, though, and you arrive. Turlake is a fairly big city. It is fairly well-to-do. In fact, for a lot of you, it's one of the most well-to-do cities you've ever been to. You have been here before, if you remember.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know why we have a blank white space at the edge of our map. There we go. Yeah, fairly well-to-do, fairly nice place. And as you arrive, what are we doing?
It's lovely. Okay, what have we heard about what Regal's supposed to do in this town? Is he just supposed to pass through?
Yeah, so basically, sort of pass through. I'm just going to return you to the map very briefly. So Regal is basically going from Jahamp to Moon's Eye, from Moon's Eye to Turlake, and then from Turlake down the river to Valaris, right?
Yes.
And back. He's made this journey 6 or 7 times. He's also just been going from Jahamp to Moon's Eye and back, or that's what he was meant to be doing. But instead, he was coming down across the lake to Turlake and back a few times. He was basically loitering in Turlake when he didn't need to be. A lot of the time, he would sort of make out that he was waiting for a ferry across the Blue Lake. The only way to cross the Blue Lake is by ferry. There is a tiny little inhabitant on the north side of Blue Lake. But from what you've heard, going around the lake is both very slow and very difficult terrain. Around the south, it tends to be very boggy and swampy. And around the north, it's very hilly. And it's pretty cold most of the year round. Yeah.
Okay, so he has, like, no business here, really.
So you would think. He also doesn't tend to stay at the ducal house where he has a room, or a suite of rooms, in fact, for him and his guards and entourage. He doesn't tend to stay there in Turlake. He has frequented a couple of inns a couple of times, from what you've heard. But for the most part, nobody even knows where he's staying.
Is Turlake the one where the Duke's an asshole?
It's one of. It's not the one where you stopped for a meal and the Duke was derogatory towards you. No, this is where you saw the Witted being...
Oh, yes, I would like to investigate that.
Investigate what?
I would like to look into the laws of that. Of people of being...
Yeah, so as you've been told at multiple places, the Witted are persecuted and killed all over the country.
Yeah.
If anybody is suspected of lowly beast magic, they are usually hung, drawn, quartered, and burnt.
Oh my goodness.
That's what you find out by investigating the law. What about it?
So I would like to speak to, because I'm assuming, like, it's the Dukes that are in charge of that happening in, or is it the king? Do I need to speak to the king?
So it's a bit of both. It is sort of tradition, I guess. There is no law saying the Witted should be killed, but there is no law saying they shouldn't.
Okay, so I should speak to the king and remind him how I'm a hero, and that he owes me, and then he should put a law in place. Okay.
Yeah, but also, you also understand that a lot of the rumors and abilities attributed to the Witted are pretty frightening and bad, and
like what?
Like entire flocks of animals going to sickness or turning against their owners.
Do we know that
swarms of wasps or bees attacking their owners? Creatures turning feral when they shouldn't.
Where's the proof?
Yeah, none at all.
Exactly. Case closed.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's not true, but you can at least assume that some of the accounts are exaggerated.
Okay.
You have heard another rumor quite a while back, actually, after you returned from Turlake, about Sly the Witted. Sly the Witted was persecuted at Garrow, but when he was in the noose, he vanished, and only a snake was to be seen slithering off. But when they chased the snake, it was uncatchable. You also saw something of this, like when the guy who was in the stocks at Turlake vanished, and you saw a crow up on the building, if you remember.
Yep.
So yeah, they definitely have some sort of strange magics going on.
Okay.
Anyway, you were investigating Regal, I think was the plan, correct? Luca, unless there's anything else you wish to say on that matter for now.
That's fine.
Cool. An ongoing goal.
I want to know why Luca takes the witted thing so personally. Is it something to do with your bond with Vero? I'm just curious.
Well, Winona, thank you for asking. Well, first of all, yeah, it makes me a little on edge, as I also don't want to be hung and burned, and I don't have a way of.
You can
That
keep
is
talking.
so
It's
true.
very true. Keep talking.
Yeah, so obviously that's not great. And also, as we heroes, we should be
Yes.
defending the downtrodden and the minority, and it feels like this minority are being wrongfully persecuted. And so
Does it
that's why I take it so. What?
feel
Is it
like they're
what?
being wrongfully persecuted?
Can I ask who I'm speaking to?
I'm just reasserting that this has happened during your entire character's life, right? This to
Yeah.
all of you guys is normal. It has never been any different. You've always known
Sure.
this to be
You know
the
what
case,
they
right?
said? They said the same thing about many things throughout history.
Sure. But I'm just
someone-
reminding you that whilst obviously to us it might be incredibly morally wrong, to the general human or humanoid
Okay,
that is
fine.
raised in these areas, it wouldn't seem abnormal.
Okay, fine, but as someone who's lived in the woods and
Sure.
amongst animals, I have a different relationship with animals.
That's fine.
and
I'm just
so
reminding you all that is
Sure,
the mindset of the world.
that's fine. For everyone else, but for Luca,
Cool.
Okay, I was just curious. I agree. It is
it's fine.
pretty.
I'm not getting angry at
wild.
you, Winona. I'm getting
No,
angry at the
no, no,
mysterious
it's-
voice talking to us.
You're entitled to any opinion you want on your character. I'm just trying to remind you that in the world it would
I
be a
understand.
very unusual opinion to take.
That's fine.
Is this okay? I only have lived above ground for like the last 3 years or so. I don't think that they didn't have this witted thing underground, probably, right? So I wonder if this is the first I'm seeing it too.
You probably just spent time with gnomes or interacted with other underground communities, underdark communities.
Probably just gnomes.
You may have heard of the odd gnome who's like has an incredible affinity for animals, and perhaps
Ooh.
seems very closely bonded to a specific animal. But certainly there's no stigma to it. And the
Oh,
word witted
okay.
has never been used in Gnomish to you.
Yeah, so this is all.
Kai, even more so, you would have heard of it a lot, but you may even have seen certain tridents bonded to certain animals as
Fish.
more than friends, basically. Okay, that sounds a bit wrong. I don't mean as lovers.
Oh
I
my
mean like
goodness!
brothers. I mean like brothers. They're more than just
Yeah.
casual acquaintances. Closely bonded
Hey.
to these creatures.
Octopuses have many uses.
To you, it seems a
Oh
very
my
natural
God.
magic. You've never heard of it as witted before, but yeah, you can relate.
He's
to
heard of it as love.
Yeah.
Aww.
Whereas Karina Galthak and Luca, you've all grown up with it being, hangable.
So
It's entertainment coming to see a witted person be hung.
Oh,
during
that's
the course of
awful.
the band. Yeah. Perhaps.
got it.
Anyway, whilst we are on the hunt for the end of all amoral laws, we're also on a hunt for Regal, right? Pull us back to that.
Why are we hunting him?
I want to
I
know
will
what
allow
he's doing.
somebody else to explain that during an off break.
Okay,
Because he's not missing, right?
No, but he's been loitering a
He
lot in
keeps
this town
going
when he
missing.
has no business here.
And you don't know where he's staying.
We're
Which means
investigating.
technically he is missing. Yes, investigating. There you go. But how are we investigating?
Okay. I mean, do we know any of his friends here? Isn't there a girl he likes? I could have sworn we heard something about a girl. Damn.
We heard
Damn.
it, or we just guessed.
No, you were told that there was a particular house that he has been seen entering at weird times.
Yes! Yes! I knew we heard something like that. I'm scrolling. Did we,
You also may have heard of a couple of members of his entourage. He is known to maintain the company of one Carrot. Carrot is a magic user. Give me a charisma check. Anyone and everyone. To see if you've heard any specific rumors about Carrot.
Nope.
Oh. It's a solid 15.
Me and Karina.
Yeah, Luca and Kai, you heard something at some point about his magical powers growing more quickly than the average magic user.
Ooh.
But you don't remember much about it. There is also... Go on.
What do you mean in terms of like other magic users? Do we mean like he's a sorcerer and that's why he's learning quicker than like a wizard would? Or do you mean that like generally speaking?
You've heard a rumor that his magical powers progressed more quickly than other magical users. That is all you've got. You don't remember much else about it. And Burl, he's known to be, is his other man. Burl has been with him since Burl was born. Burl's father was assigned his... since Regal was born. Burl's father was his assigned bodyguard for the first 2 years of his life. Burl took over when Regal was 2 or 3 years old. You guys all remember that you have met Burl once or twice at the castle. He is most definitely an inland man. You've heard him described as a Queen's man, but not in a nice term.
Oh. And none of these people were in the big party that we were with?
No. No. They would be residing with Regal wherever he is.
Oh, got it. They're inseparable.
Not necessarily, but it's his entourage, right? It's not the entourage that you're traveling with. Those are the names that you have.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this sounds pretty big, right?
Yeah, very big. But you have heard that there is a house he has visited on a regular occasion. The information came from the Duke's household, so might be worth starting there. Alternatively, you know he stayed in 2 inns at various times.
Yeah.
You could pop to those if you wish. The names of the inns are...
Oh, we know the inn?
Yes, the Nightingale.
Perfect! Yes!
And the Silver Herring.
I thought we didn't have that information. Fantastic.
The Nightingale and the
we
Silver
should
Herring.
start
And
there.
the you also have the name of the person who reported on Regal's doings in Turlake. He's in the Duke's household, but you think he's one of Discretion's men.
Oh my goodness.
And his name is... Derry. Like this. What's the plan?
I think we should check
Head
out-
investigate.
Ah!
And her
I think we
detective
should check
agency.
out those inns.
Okay,
I thought we do nothing.
No, you know,
This is all.
you know where
this
he
is plenty
disappears
of
to, but not
leads.
why.
Yes,
so the
yes.
Nightingale or the Silver Herring first?
Kai, you pick.
Kai, pick an in.
It's
Nightingale,
completely
Silver
random,
Herring.
so everyone
Silver
sounds
herring.
nice.
It's not
Silver
red, so
herring.
it should be good.
Oh,
Cool.
Kai.
So you head over to the Silver Herring, and you find it is almost completely deserted at this time of day. It's about 11:30 in the morning. The
okay.
proprietor is an air genasi, and she is currently cleaning the counter
Jay
and
perks up.
somebody likes air genasis, and just generally sort of clearing up and out back. There is one gentleman sat in the corner. He's got his hood drawn over his head, and he's resting his chin on his arm. You're not
Does he
sure
look
if he's awake
asleep?
or asleep, but
Oh.
he has a tankard in front of him. Yeah.
All right. I mean, let's talk to the staff.
Okay. As you approach, welcome. Please come in. What am I going to do for you? I'm only just opened. Are you looking for breakfast? We've got brunch.
Oh, no. We just want to ask you a couple questions. And then I'll
of
flash my
course.
badge.
Oh, of course. How can I
Heroes
be
of
of
the
help?
realm.
The badge
well,
says
we're
Captain of the Guard, but sure, why the fuck not?
Whatever it says.
Oh, dear.
We're here on King's business. Just his son, Regal. Have you seen him?
The prince.
Yeah.
He's stayed here a couple of times. He's. It's an absolute honor to host such a wonderful member of the family, of the royal family. He's quite the gentleman, you know, and he pays quite handsomely. Although he does like to hire all the rooms.
All the rooms? Like buy out the place?
Yeah. He doesn't mind guests coming into the common room, but he requests that all the rooms upstairs are kept to just him and his friends. He's quite the partier.
Goodness. I was gonna say, have you seen him and his friends with anyone else?
Well, many people, of course. He likes to talk with some of the locals, especially those of the more noble echelon. He's good friends with many of the ducal houses. He's brought many different young lords and ladies from all over the country that he visits here.
Oh my lord. We are not gonna get anywhere like this. This guy's so popular.
It's quite gracious.
Okay. Is there anyone you see him with regularly? Like maybe one face that keeps showing up?
Well, he has his bodyguard, and there's a couple of them, I think. There's also
Yeah.
a valet of some sort, very close with. I believe the valet's name is Severance. He's always comes to the kitchen and asks for quite specific things early in the morning.
Have we heard this name at all?
I don't think so, but only in the case that you don't really pay close attention to who serves who. You can assume that he plays the same role to Regal as Sharim plays to Verity.
This specific order.
Weird requests first thing in the morning. 2 poached pheasant eggs, slightly undercooked. If I remember rightly. At one point, it was a platter of fresh raspberries sprinkled with sugar. Difficult to get hold of at this time of year.
Yeah, I'll say.
Specific orders, but he pays very handsomely and is very gracious if we can't manage it.
After Regal checks out and leaves all the rooms, are they in just a state of disrepair?
Not really. Some of his entourage can be a little messy, but his own room is always fastidiously tidy.
Oh, so they aren't partying that hard.
Well, during the evening it can get a little rambunctious, but only in a sort of flirting and dancing manner. They don't destroy anything.
Oh, okay.
So nothing you wouldn't expect then.
Mm-hmm.
No, indeed, I might expect them to be a little more rowdy. Certainly
Yeah.
when the Prince Chivalry,
Right?
bless his name, comes through. When he does party, which is rarely, it's said, the man is correct to a fault, of course, but when he does, it can be a little rowdy. And when Verity last partied here, well, those repairs took a month.
This is what I'm saying. Pretty weird that he's partying like medium hard, you know.
Yeah, you get the impression that it's more a sort of like noble dinner and making.
He's like
Um,
schmoozing people and making connections.
Yeah, you get that sort of impression.
OMG. Okay. Wow. This
Can I
I'm
get you a drink or
whispering.
anything?
Do we I think actually anyone else want to ask anything? I feel like we don't need to trouble her anymore.
Did you want my name before you leave?
Do you want to give it?
I don't know, like, you guys are going to ask me her name in like 3 months' time, so I might as well give it now. And tell you it's your fault when you haven't got it. Yolana is the name of the-
I try to write down all the
You
proper
do,
names.
but if I don't give it to you, then I won't remember what it is in 3 months' time.
Well, honestly, I didn't think we'd see her again. If I'm being honest, that looks like I misjudged.
I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Yeah, she's proprietor of a pub in Turlick.
She's now our favorite innkeeper.
Probably
Her all
not.
the
You
time.
get free food in the Three Horses.
Yeah, I was gonna
in the Silver
say
Horseshoe.
that other town.
But she might be a close third.
Cool.
Anything else I can help you with? Do you need directions about town? I don't think I've seen you here before. Have I?
Oh, do we have like any kind of description of that house he's always visiting?
No.
I didn't think so. Maybe just directions to the Duke's place.
You're not gonna slander her by asking her directions to another tavern.
No, I thought about it, but no.
Great. Cool. Yes, the Duke's place is pretty impossible to miss. It's up the hill, she'll tell you. Wherever you are in town, you can see the Duke's place. It sits on a hill above the rest of the town.
Got it.
You have also seen it before. He came down from it last time when Virago was in the center of town.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And as you guys head out, what's the plan? Are you going to the Nightingale?
What do y'all think? Do we think that other inn will have any different information? I definitely want to just talk to the Duke, though.
Just to remind you, you are out on the streets. There are locals about. If you do have any questions for them, you're more than welcome to stop and pass it by. If you have any weird questions, I don't know.
Excuse me, have you seen the prince?
Yeah, go for it. You know, there's a guy, a sort of young man, about 15 or 16. He's selling meat pies from a tray as he's walking down the street, and he does approach you. Sort of meat pie.
We'll take
Copper
one.
piece.
I'll take two.
Today, love that. Do you wish to ask him anything, or is he off?
Karina, did you want anything or just a pie?
I'm good, thank you.
Would this guy even know the prince? Excuse me, do you know the Prince Regal?
I know of him. He travels through town sometimes.
Yeah, have you ever seen him?
I was lucky enough to see him pass by on the street once. Some of his men bought some of my wares. They were very gracious, and they overpaid.
Oh, as do I. And I put another gold on his plate.
A
And I
gold?
say, did you... Oh yeah, however much
my
it
Hey, you
was.
word.
bought 100 pies.
Okay,
He
sorry,
sort
I
of
didn't know
looks
the
at it with his
value.
eyes like wide as saucers, and he's
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't
he
mean
keeps
to,
himself
but
to
you can
himself
have that.
mostly, but the last time I saw him, he was wearing a deep blue brocade velvet jacket with
Perfect,
green
perfect.
hose and dark shoes.
The
had his hair in
description's
ringlets.
fine. Did you see where he was going by any chance?
He was walking from Apple Garden Street down to the south, past the blacksmiths. When I last saw him, he then turned the corner to the left. That's the only time I've seen him. He gives you like the most specific information he can about this one time
Thank
he saw
you.
Regal 2.5 years ago. Yeah, like totally useless. Can I help you with anything else? Anything at all?
No.
Would you like
I've
another
written
pie?
that all down. That's helpful.
Okay. He
Galthak,
sort of
have
bobs
as many
and bows
pies
and-
as you want.
Yeah, he'll hand pie after pie to Galthak.
Oh, hell yes. I will
Do you want to ask
gladly
him
have
about the
these
other
pies.
inn,
Thank
or are you
very
just
much.
like, yeah?
Oh yeah, the other inn. I thought we knew where it was. Yeah. the Nightingale. Last thing, young lad. Which way to the Nightingale?
He blushes immediately, and I did go there once. Yeah.
What? What kind of
it's-
establishment is this?
The Nightingale's a quiet affair. They are known for excellent meals, excellent service, and excellent partisans.
Wow. What the heck is that word he just said?
People who go there, who may belong there. It's definitely got a side business of selling ladies of the night.
Alright, got it. Yeah, I know where this gold piece is going. That's alright, though. You have a good night, lad.
Yes! That'll buy him 10 nights.
Oh, I'm happy for him.
Cool. He will also give you directions. It's at the upper part of town on the way to the Duke's.
Okay, cool. So what was... We might as well go there.
Okay. Yeah, you find your way through town and you see what looks to be a sort of fairly well-to-do tavern with a very beautiful awning, deep velvet, curtains hang in the windows, and it appears to be closed but not locked up. Like, it just doesn't appear to be operating business right now.
Okay, well, I will knock, but then, like, let myself in, you know? That thing you do.
As you come in, yep, just put the delivery on the side, please. Kalashtar says, female. She's very tall, beautiful hair all the way down to her hips. And she just sort of calls over her shoulder to drop the delivery to the over on the side by the bar as she continues what she's doing.
Oh, sorry. We don't have your delivery.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry. Hi there. We're not currently open. Can I be of assistance?
Flash my badge.
Oh, I thought you'd resolved the Is this not about last night?
Probably not, but
Oh, okay.
could you tell me what happened last night just to be sure?
Of course. A young man had his purse stolen.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with that, I'm afraid.
Oh, absolutely fine. How can I be of assistance?
No, we're on a bigger business. Prince Regal.
Oh, he's most gracious but unusual customer. I don't normally speak of the prince's doings.
I understand, but
I suppose I can if necessary. What did you want to know?
what is unusual about him?
Our rooms are usually hired by the hour. And sometimes he comes and hires a room for 4 or 5 hours, but without anyone else using it. Just him.
Oh. No one's with him, not even his bodyguards?
No, they tend to remain downstairs. He goes up on his own. 4 or 5 hours later, he comes down. He always requests bath water. It's a bath drawn for himself. Not usual requests for our sort of business, if you know what I mean. He has a meal taken to his room. He dines alone, from what I can tell. Always requests the most expensive meal on the menu, regardless of what it is, it seems. Always pays extra money, is incredibly polite and gracious. Keeps himself to himself. He comes quite late at night. Midnight or later. And leaves in the very early hours of the morning.
My goodness.
Perhaps 10 or 15 times he's done this?
Wow.
Does he usually use the same room?
No, he doesn't mind which room we give him, though we try and give him the best of suites, of course. He is a prince. We usually have a couple of rooms that we keep, well, clean, I guess is the right word, though all our rooms are clean, but some are used for other things, and we have a couple that we try and, keep a little aside.
Of course.
We perhaps see the most recent room he stayed in, or the most frequent.
Of course. My girls stay in the rooms during the night. I'll have to turn one out. Please, come upstairs. Give me a moment. And she walks upstairs and knocks on the door. And Kayla, can you? I'm sorry, but I need you to head down to the kitchen. I've got somebody who needs the room briefly. I'm so sorry, love. And sort of after a couple of minutes, a woman walks out. She is wearing almost nothing. She's wearing a sheer shawl over her shoulders, and is holding a towel in her hand. She has her lips painted, but you can see that some of her makeup is askew from the night before, and she sort of gives you a curtsy and pleasure, and then she pats Galfak's bicep.
Ooh.
Hi, visitors, guests. I'm free this evening. And she gives a wink, and then she walks down the stairs.
Galfak. She heard about Gerthak.
Galfak, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah.
With the gun
and,
show.
With that, the proprietor lets you into the room. You can see a very richly appointed room, large double bed, 4-poster, velvet curtains sort of hanging around it. The curtains are drawn on the window. They are also red velvet. There is a rich rug on the ground, a tapestry on the wall depicting one of the typical sort of battle scenes, or victory scenes, I suppose is the right way of putting it. A gentleman on a white horse riding away, a woman over his arm, that sort of thing. There is a dressing table and a mirror. It looks like it's well appointed and kept very clean. The bed is obviously sort of, the bed sheets are tossed to one side. Somebody has clearly just slept in it. Obviously, she's gone downstairs.
Just gonna take a few moments and cast detect magic. I'm just kind of looking for residual traces of anything.
Get 3 things that are currently active. The first is, I was going to call it alteration magic there, playing Skyrim. The first is transmutation magic. The second is a bell, which just seems to be permeating the room. Although on closer inspection, it seems to be coming from a strange sort of small circular stone embedded into the floor. The second is the bell next to the bed, which is giving off conjuration magic. And the third is the looking glass, which is giving off illusion magic.
What? Oh my goodness.
No, sorry. The looking glass is giving off divination magic. My bad.
Ooh, even better.
Correction on that one.
The bell, I would assume, is just connected somehow to room service, basically.
Are you asking the proprietor?
Sure.
Yeah, did she
Yes,
ask for this up?
The bell doesn't ring in this room, but it does ring downstairs in the kitchens.
Incredible.
And what is this circle?
Oh, we had those installed recently. A gift, actually. Funny you should ask from the Duke himself. They're cleansing stones. They keep the room clean.
Well, that is nice. The Duke himself?
He
Are these...
visits occasionally.
Copy that.
Is there something special about your mirrors here?
Most of our customers don't notice. Please don't think me strange, but I have a copy mirror downstairs in my own office. It is not for the purpose that is raising your eyebrows. Some guests can be rough with my girls. It prevents me from having to open the door or anything to check on them. If I suspect anybody, I'll get one of our ladies to keep an eye out. Make sure that the girls are being treated well. Otherwise, I'll extract them. You're a wizardess? Is that the word?
Sure.
Interesting. Fascinating. I don't suppose you have the ability to mend things that are broken, do you?
Do
No.
I? Do I? Winona says, stepping into the conversation.
And she sort of reaches in, sort of under her bodice, and she pulls out a locket that is currently sort of flapped open. The catch is broken.
Aw.
She holds it out to you. There is a very dashing young man inside it.
Wow. Oh. I'm not going to ask. But
she will tell you in great detail if you do. But it's just her lover. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna fix it. Absolutely no problem.
Thank you so much.
And can I'm sorry, this is so rude. What was your name?
Yeah, sorry, I'm on a different page.
Well, let's get on the same page.
Lisette. That's her name. With only 2 T's.
Lisette with 3
Only
T's.
2 Ts.
Fantastic. Okay, as I am like handing her the locket back, I will take her hand.
Now that you've helped her, she sort of leans over and... Are you seeking news of the prince?
Yes.
He doesn't
We are concerned.
take any lovers here, but I've heard a tale that he visits a house in relatively poor part of town quite regularly. Quite unusual hours. I can give you directions if you like.
I would like.
It's Orland Street. I don't believe the prince is currently in town. Sorry, hiccup. I don't believe the prince is currently in town, though I could be wrong. But yes, it's
That's
just
okay.
down here. It's quite a large house. Unusual for the Paupers district, but there was rumors a long time ago that it was haunted.
Ooh.
I believe somebody quite famous was killed there.
You don't say.
Yeah, I
Maybe
tend to
his
think
royal
of it.
mother.
No, it was Queen Desire's lover.
Oh, pretty close.
One off. Quite a few of them suffered an untimely end. You will note, though, that she uses the phrase Queen Desire. This is the second time you've heard the phrase Queen when not being referred to Queen Constance. You have heard tales of the Inland Queen. So if you remember, the inner duchies sort of refer to those, even though by technicality they don't exist.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, she'll give you directions to Orland Street. And on that note, if that is the direction in which you're going to head, that is where we will pick up next session, as we are at our cutoff. So it brings us to the endless and timeless tradition of MVPs. I will start with Allura.
I think usually at the end of a big combat, the players are raring to see what the loot is. But I don't think I've ever seen it where the DM's so excited to show the loot that he forgot to end the combat.
No, it's just a case of like I was desperately trying to move through. I knew that like we weren't even gonna get to Turlake. Right, and I'm like, these 2 fucking will-o-wisps, like, I ain't got time for that shit. They've got 19 armor class, are resistant to all fucking physical damage.
Oh, it's like all day.
We're gonna, yeah, exactly. We're gonna be there a week just pummeling these non-existent ghosties. Like, yeah, no need for that. But yeah, cool. Jamel?
The nastiness of that one specific bit of loot where we're just like, this is an abomination, kill it with fire, and it's like, you know, it'd actually be quite useful if you give it to the right person rather than burning the damn thing.
Yeah, I love the idea that in a campaign, all my characters will just burn any loot they receive. Just, no, we don't want it! Take it away, stupid magical items!
It's the nastiest bit of loot, though, so it's understandable why the
gross.
instinctive reaction is just torch the fucking thing.
I did have a description for the tome, but then I forgot to give it to you. The tome of the demon is also written on skin.
Of course.
Oh.
Classic.
I burned it before I could notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, Karina did burn
I
that
read this
one.
cheap shit. Nah. Jay.
Yeah, when you were getting through the description of the cloak and just first thing Michaela says, burn it.
Yeah.
Burn it.
Yeah. No. When he said it had like sentience, I was like, what the fuck? This thing's possessed.
Yeah.
Josh.
Mine goes to the combat of the hags. It was really it was a fun way to have combat with the kind of things that they were able to do with their magic. So yeah.
Cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And Michaela.
Yes, mine is Once again, Luca teaching Winona Draconic. So cute. I love it. And also in the fight, in the combat, Luca setting up for Kai's saving throw, and then saying Kai will finish her off, and then Jay's reaction to that just looks so flabbergasted.
And then she took her turn, halved his max HP, and wrecked everyone.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah, I'm sure Kai thought it was great too.
And then I didn't even.
And didn't even do a saving throw spell.
Yeah, and then I just followed through what I was going to do, anyways.
She never did make that saving throw. But if she ever does, she'll have disadvantage. Yeah, in all fairness, you are right. When are you going to use the ability of that sword? For the most part, it's just a cool thing, right? So I don't think there was anything wrong with using it, but leaving it alive was a questionable decision. You didn't know that it was going to be that powerful, like, because the last time they saved, so you had no idea what the ability was. I really liked Kai's, I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt, do a bunch of damage, and then Bardic Inspiration somebody to get the advantage hit on the Guiding Bolt. That was really cool and cute. Loved that. I definitely liked the Inspiring Cry as well. So, Jay, you may take a crit card today. I don't know when the fuck you are going to actually deal a damage that can deal a damage. Yeah, you get that.
I have
Deal a damage. Nice. Good job.
Deal. Does that work? Yeah, cool. You have earned yourself a DM crit card. I'm sure that when you do use it, it'll be motherfucking epic.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I really enjoyed you in combat. I also really enjoyed the Turlake investigation, specifically poor old hot pie vendor and his 100 pie sale.
Oh my word,
one
yeah.
gold piece.
You know,
I was just like, huh. Like,
we're so
one gold
rich
isn't
now.
much money, right? But to a kid that sells pies in the street, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, we become those out of touch rich people.
Yeah, you have. Love that. But my particularly weird moment was when I said I'm not on the same page, and somebody said, I can't remember who it was. Somebody said, "Can we get on the same page?" I think it might have been Laura. But yeah, I like that. But anyway, that is where we're going to end.
I have remembered another little one as well.
Go on then. Spin that
Intros
quickly.
actually went
We're 11
really
seconds
fucking
overdue.
smooth this time, didn't they?
What did?
Intros went really fucking smooth.
Oh
this
yeah,
time,
we're
didn't
sticking
they?
with those. Even if Josh did sound depressed. But anyway, that is where we're going to end. So if you guys would like to say goodbye,
Bye.
Bye.
we shall see you next week.